Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to day 19 and it's going to be ring isometrics today. So apologies for the PJs, just about to go to bed actually. Usually I do them in the morning but I fancy doing it on the evening today, so there you go. To begin with, we'll go through some prep work, okay, just to get our shoulders nice and warm, get our wrists nice and warm for getting on the rings. From there I'll just briefly show you how to put the rings up. So I've left one of them down specifically so I can show you how to put them up. From there, we'll go through a false grip pull-up hold progression list, we'll go through a support progression list, German hang progression list, and then finally a bottom of dip progression list. Okay, so basically just some fundamental positions that are really important to master when starting out on the rings, and we'll just go through some different variations in terms of difficulty, so they'll build up in terms of difficulty. We'll go for about 2, maybe 3 sets, depending on how much I ramble on each of the progressions, and for each one we'll go for about technical failure and we'll take about a 1 minute rest in between. Okay, so to begin with guys, we'll just start with some Updog Downdog. You probably know this one pretty well by now, I think we've put it in there a few times. Gaze to the sky, rolling the shoulder blades back. From there, opening through that thoracic spine, drawing the heels to the floor, hips to the sky. Sometimes have a little look over the shoulder. One more. And take a few breaths in the down dog. Open that thoracic spine, literally like someone's got a hand on your thoracic spine and they're pushing it down towards the legs. Okay, good stuff. From there we'll just do table rocks. I'm actually going to turn my hands so they face backwards here. Okay, pull the shoulders back. From there we push tall, squeeze the shoulder blades back, rocking forwards, rocking back, keeping the hips up. Getting a nice stretch through the biceps, through the front of the shoulders, through the pecs. And then contracting the triceps and the rear delts as we rock back. Last one. Okay, finally we'll just go through a little bit of false grip stretching. So wrist flexion is the position that we go into during false grip. So palm goes flat to the floor, bicep comes forwards, and just begin by dynamically hitting this position, pushing that bicep forwards, and then we can make a fist just to prep us for that false grip position, which we'll be going over very shortly. It's the first one. Okay, slowly release, shake it off, swap sides. Again, just start by pushing that bicep forwards. Nice and dynamic guys, not too much load here, just getting used to it. If it feels very uncomfortable, you can just rock yourself forwards, that's absolutely fine. If it feels very easy, you can rock yourself back. Okay, that'll do. Shake it off. From there guys, I'll just briefly show you how to put the rings up. So let's just move that camera around. Apologies if some of the angles today aren't the best guys, it's a little bit tight, but we'll do our best. Okay, so hopefully there you can see the rings. I'll just turn the light on it a bit more as well. Okay, so to begin with guys, we obviously, one strap's already up. Okay, I just thought I'd show you the other strap. So you loop the strap over, so the buckle, okay, the buckle should face, the button should press outwards, okay, should face outwards, so you can just push it from the outside in, okay. From there, you're just gonna loop the strap through the ring. So make sure there's no coils, okay, make sure it's nice and straight. Again, the button's on the outside, so you press it in. There's no coils in the strap. Okay, it's all nice and, that wasn't how you do it. It's all nice and straight. Okay, it's a little bit low for me to be putting the rings up guys, but it's you know, it's still, you can do a hell of a lot with rings at this height. So again, there's no coils in the strap. We simply slide it through, so we press the button, that'll create some space. We then slide it through, and then we hold that button down and we pull it down. Okay, if we want to bring the ring up, keep sliding it down. If you want to bring the ring down, we pull the opposite side. Okay, so this one, the loose strap, that's to pull it up, and the strap that's actually attached, that's actually looped around the ring to pull it down. Okay, so the first exercise is going to be false grip pull up hold. Okay, now we'll begin by doing it in a row position. Okay, and that'll probably be the easiest place to start. So I'll probably have to move the camera down a little bit. Actually, we're doing it feet assisted first. Sorry, my bad. So we'll do it feet assisted first. So just so we get an understanding for it being vertical, I'll just make sure the rings are level. This is probably something you'll have to get used to, getting them the rings level. Hopefully they are. Okay, so move this camera a little bit. Oh dear. Okay, so what we're trying to do, and I'll move it as close as I can so you can still see my full body. Okay, what we're trying to do is actually place our wrist on top of the rings like so. Okay, so instead of pulling from our fingers or our knuckles like we would normally, we're actually pulling from our wrist. And you can see my hands have got some cuts and stuff. I'm doing a lot of muscle ups at the moment because we've got a challenge in December. So I'm actually, got some cuts and sort of from always having this position. Okay, so it's actually, the wrists are laying on top of the rings. Okay, and this is our false grip position. So let's establish this. So instead of normal grip, we just simply flex the wrist, and then we're pulling down. So instead of pulling from the knuckles, we're pulling from the wrist. Okay, it's the wrist that's pulling down the rings. From there, we're just gonna let the feet come in front, and then we're gonna drop the hips and just hold this position. Okay, let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, keep pulling the elbows down, pulling shoulders down, 2, 1, relax, bring the feet back under and shake it off. Okay, so hopefully you felt that there, guys, where you're actually pulling from the wrist, okay, from the wrist as opposed to from the knuckles. Okay, sometimes what I'll do with people who really struggle to grasp it is I'll get them to flex the wrist over so the thumb actually goes in front of the ring, and I'll get them to hold a tennis ball, and that just gets that sensation for what it's like to be pulling down the rings. If that's then comfortable for them, we then just simply loop the thumb around, keep the wrist on top, and there we have our false grip. Okay, so the whole time when I'm pulling on the ring, we're trying to keep that wrist above the ring so we can start to transition. As soon as that chest comes to the ring height, we can start to transition by pushing down the ring and getting into that dip position. Whereas if we're here, once we get to the chest, we can't then get the wrist over, we can't start pushing down the ring. Okay, we've got to get a much higher pull, or in most cases a kip, to be able to then transition the rings on top. Whereas in false grip, you just need to be able to pull to the chest, and you can already start pushing down with that transition. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll move them down into a false grip row hold. Okay, a little bit harder because there's going to be less weight in our feet because they're going to be extended. Again, let's play that game of getting the rings level. Okay, somewhat. Take your time to get them level, guys. I'm going to rush through it because I'm obviously doing a video, but do take your time to make them level. From here, guys, quite simply, we're still going to hold that false grip position. This time, it's going to be in a row. Okay, so false grip. This time the legs go out, and we pull into this top position here. So hips stay up, we pull the chest down. Let's have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Okay, so notice there, just as I came down, I kept the false grip, straighten the arms, and then you watch me slip out of the position. And that's showing you there that, yeah, I've actually got the wrists on top of the rings. Okay. God. Right. Okay. So let's just do one final progression for the false grip pull-up hold. Now, obviously, I'm just kind of showing you them here, guys. What I'd suggest you do is find the variation that suits you, and then have technical failure. So it might be somewhere between sort of 5 to 30 seconds, and then rest for a minute and repeat that for 4 to 6 sets. That's what I'd suggest you do in terms of the training, guys. But today, I'll just sort of go through and show you, and then you can select the progression that works for you, pause the video, and then go through 4 to 6 sets with a 1 minute rest. Okay, the final one by far the hardest. Again, we're in our false grip. This time we'll do a pull-up hold. Now, I'm going to hold an L-sit because my feet touch the floor if not, my knees touch the floor if not. But obviously you guys could just keep a nice hollow body position. So false grip in place, pulling down to the chest, and then we hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, pulling the elbows down, putting the shoulders down, 2, and 1. Okay, and that's that false grip pull-up hold. Again, wrist stays on top. We actually feel at that point there, we're almost starting to push into that transition. Okay, so we're almost going to the point where we've finished pulling and we're starting that pushing motion, okay, by really trying to keep nice and high and pull down to the chest. Okay, if you've worked through the feet assisted, you've worked through the row, and you can really keep them rings to the chest, when you come to this one, ensure that you're getting that nice contraction. As soon as you start to drift off, take a breather, take your minute, shake it off, and go again. Okay, and try and keep your hold, keep your technical position of being chest to ring. Okay, that'll do. So number 2 is going to be our support hold. So I'll begin by showing you in a push-up position. Okay, so again we're going to have to move the rings down. This time they'll come about ankle height, so nice and low, and we'll go through a few progressions here. We'll go through push-up, we'll go through feet on chair, and then we'll go through actual support with the feet off the floor, off the chair as well. Okay, so again, get the rings level. Okay, so push-up position, guys. So we, high plank, top position of our push-up. The emphasis here is keeping the rings close together, so keeping them at shoulder width, keeping that hollow body position, and if we can establish that, we're then going to try and simply turn the rings out into our support position. So if we're comfortable here, we can lock out the elbows, we can stay in hollow, we can keep the rings close, then we can try and turn the rings outwards. 10, 9, 8, notice the elbows are locked, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you'll feel that great deal in the biceps to keep the arms locked, through the pecs to keep the rings close together, and obviously we should feel it through the abs as well, because we're trying to really keep that nice hollow body position. Okay, so the second variation is going to be your support hold with a chair. Okay, so move the rings up to about hip height, get yourself a chair, and then we're essentially establishing the same position. In the high plank, we're trying to wrap the shoulder blades around the rib cage. However, here in the support hold feet assisted, we're trying to think about pushing the shoulder blades down. Okay, so we're in this position, the arms are straight, feet are going to go on. We're thinking about pushing the shoulder blades down. If we're comfortable here, we can then think about turning them rings out. Obviously you can see the kind of door frames in the way, not ideal, but that's the idea. Again, we're keeping the rings close together. Ideally I'd have the rings a little bit lower, to be honest, or the chair a bit higher, but you'll still get the gist. Drawing the shoulder blades down, looking forwards, arms straight, keeping the rings close together, rings turned out, and that'll do us. Okay, not ideal because it's not quite wide enough, but you get the gist hopefully. And then final step, this isn't really going to work so well I don't think, but we'll see how we go, is actually our support position. So if both of them are comfortable, okay, ideally you'd have more space in this, guys, because it's pretty tricky to get into a good position here because we're touching the sides, and you don't want to be doing that, so that's just going to take away the stability demands of the rings. You want to be responsible for stabilizing them rings and keeping them close. But the final variation is going to be actually our support hold. Okay, so this will be the hardest one. So straight arms, knees bent, just so I'm taking it off the floor. So if I could fully extend, I'd keep my legs straight, I'd stay in hollow. Okay, but because I can't, I'm just going to slightly bend my knees, but still keep the hollow position from knee to head. Okay, again, if we can, we're going to turn the rings out, looking forwards, knees together, feet together, hollow position, arms straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, again, shoulders are drawn down. We're in that hollow body position, arms are straight, and if we're stable, we turn the rings out. Okay, that is your support hold. Okay, so we've gone through the false grip, pull-up hold, support hold, 2 big ones. Now we'll go through German hang. So we're going to actually begin it just with a stick. So I'm going to move you right back here. Okay, we're going to begin it just with a stick. So essentially where we start this, or where I like to start this, is as I said, with a stick, and we're just going to do that extension lift. Okay, just to really get the muscles to contract in this position, get a little bit of a stretch through the pecs, biceps. It is a very demanding position, this one. So we're here, palms face down at shoulder width, retract the shoulder blades, and we're trying to lift the stick up as high as possible, squeezing the triceps, squeezing the back of the shoulders. We lift, 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 gaze forwards, nice and hollow. 7, 6, 5, 4, try and lift high as we go. 3, 2, 1. And relax. Okay, what that does there, guys, just ensures us that we've got the range of motion and the ability to get into that bottom position of the German hang. Essentially, the German hang is that position, but there I just like to get people to feel that out first. What does it feel like to be there? What's the stretch like on the biceps and the pecs? Just to get you a little bit more confident before going into this one. So we'll start with feet assisted. Don't need the chair anymore. Okay, so we'll start with feet assisted. So wings are going to go right up, nice and high. From here, guys, there's 2 ways you can enter it. Okay, I'll show you the easier way first, and then I'll show you the harder way afterwards. Okay, so the easier way is obviously we can just sort of fold ourselves into position. So, sounds weird, but basically we'll come forwards, not so easy when we don't have much space, but essentially you just need to get yourself in that extended position. A little bit awkward when the door frame's in the way. And there we go, like so. Okay, and once we're in that extended position, we're just simply going to drop down to our feet or to our knees. Again, retract them shoulder blades like in that stick extension lift, and just hold this position. And if we can, we'll try and pick the knees off the floor. Okay, so we're in that nice hollow body position, and we'll hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, retracting the shoulder blades, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we can release from that position. You might just want to let go of the rings. So that's the first way we can enter it. Okay. And then secondly, if we're very, very comfortable there, the stretch is very, very comfortable for us, you know, it's very manageable, then what we'll actually try and do now is we'll try and enter it firstly from a tuck position. Okay, so we'll actually roll ourselves around. You'll see kids doing this in the playground probably. Just shows, doesn't it? We don't play enough. And from there, we're going to actually try and hold it with our feet and knees off the floor. So it's actually a German hang. Okay, very intense, guys. And again, very intense stretch in the biceps and pecs. So if it is too intense, just drop them feet. No worries at all. Just drop them feet. Okay. So from here, we try and keep our arms straight. Let's try not to catch the mic. Pull all the way through. Knees and feet will have to stay in because of how low I am. But ideally, I'd extend them in the hollow position. And then we hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull back through, keep the arms straight. And release. Whew. Okay, and that's your German hang. Again, if we have more height, we'd fully extend into that hollow body position. But still, you know, a great exercise. And still better than not doing it. Okay, if you do want to get proficient on the rings, you want to be able to do things like, you know, good form skin the cats like this and get into back lever, etc. Yeah, still worth doing. But again, if we have the height for it, if you've got a tree outside or whatever, a goalpost, then we'd fully extend into that nice hollow body position. Okay, again, feet can go down at any time. That's our German hang. Finally, save the best till last, is going to be our bent arm or bottom of dip hold. Okay, so we'll begin by doing it in a push-up. Okay, I'm just going to show you 2 variations here, maybe 3 actually, we'll see. So you can see there, you'll be able to see the floor, yeah. So we'll establish that push-up position once more. This time, instead of being straight arms, we're actually going to hold it with bent arms. Okay, so obviously these two positions, so both the first one, the false grip pull-up, and then the support and the bent arm push-up like we're going to do here, or the bent arm dip, bottom of dip, are fundamental positions to be able to get the muscle up down. Okay, so we're nice and strong in all three of them positions. We're strong in support, we're strong in the top of the pull, and we're also strong in the bottom of the dip as well. Okay, so we'll start with this progression here. Push-up position, like before, we lower ourselves down, we keep the shoulder blades down, okay, and we hold this position. Okay, rings just off the chest, 10, hollow position, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we can, press back to that top position. If not, just drop the knees. Okay, notice there as I perform the exercise, guys, I'm not just dumping my shoulders forwards like this, I'm trying to keep them set down. Okay, as the elbows are coming back, I'm actually really trying to pull them shoulders down, and if I go even further, it'll actually start to come into a bit more retraction. Okay, as opposed to letting them dump forwards. Okay, we're trying to keep that scapula nice and stable, keep the pecs engaged, keep the lats engaged, keep that forearm nice and vertical, as opposed to dumping forwards and losing that integrity and stability around the shoulder. Okay, second progression, or second and third, which we'll pair together, is going to be actually in the bottom of the dip. Okay, so just like before, we start in the support position and then we'll lower into the bottom of the dip. Okay, so again, we'll start in that support position. From there, lower into the dip. Let's move the camera up a little bit. So that looks better. So start in the support position, and then again we can have the feet down here, or we can keep the knees off the feet off the floor. Again, we're trying to keep the shoulder blades back, keep that vertical forearm. 3, 2, 1. Back into that top position. Okay, so again there, guys, very common. We'll see the shoulder dump forwards. Try as we go into that dip position, the shoulder comes into a lot of extension. Just try and actually keep it set back. Again, down and back. Okay, that elbow should stay nice and vertical. We should feel a stretch in the pecs, stretch and a contraction. So the pecs are being lengthened under tension, and we should feel the scapula, the rhomboids, so the muscles that retract the shoulder blades, nice and engaged, traps the rhomboids, nice and engaged in that bottom position. Okay, so that shoulder's not dumping forwards. Again, we've got good integrity in that position. Again, if we've got the height for it, try and keep the body nice and hollow. Okay, so the torso will be forwards, but we're keeping that nice posterior tilt, straight legs, pointed toes, nice tight body position. Okay, again with that one, you can perform it with the feet on the floor, you can perform it with the feet off the floor, you could even perform it in that dip position with a chair that we showed you earlier. Okay, that also works as well. I just thought you might not be able to see that one so well, so I didn't use it. But yeah, that's it, guys. A little bit of an awkward one to kind of get our head around because of the fact that it's on a door frame and there's not so much space. But as I mentioned, what I'd suggest doing with this one is ideally find somewhere a little bit better to hang the rings, like again a tree outside, a pull-up, a park, a football pitch with a goalpost, loads of different places you can hang them. And from there, with the exercises, establish the exercise that you're proficient in, that you can perform, good form, so more than 5 seconds with good technical positions, and then perform to technical failure, rest for a minute, and repeat that for 4 to 6 sets. And you could do that a couple of times a week, and you'd probably really improve your positions on the rings. Tomorrow we'll go through dynamic, but isometrics is always a really good place to start to really understand the positions that we're moving through, without the element and the complexity of it being dynamic. Okay, guys, so just to reiterate, find the progression that suits you for them 4 different categories, and then 4 to 6 sets of a hold to technical failure, and then a 1-minute rest. Okay, and that'll be a really, really good way of getting a good foundation on the gymnastics rings. Awesome, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.